Hey guys, today we are going to be crafting a new scepter for my Poison Spark build. Going to be same as this one, except that it's going to be on a different base. We are going to be using the Oscillating Scepter. It's a base you can find in Heist, and it gives us the Elemental Overload keystone, so we can save 1 talent point on our build. Okay, so here are the crafting steps that I used. First of all, we need to fracture a T1 damage over time multiplier. I did fracture this myself because there was none on the market when I was trying to make this, and I got it in about 2 times. I guess it's like a 1 in 4 chance, but you can get pretty unlucky, and I have failed about 12 times in a row on other crafts. That was very painful. This time, thankfully, it only took 2 tries to get this. And the reason we want the damage over time multiplier fracture and not anything else is because the prefixes are pretty much guaranteed. We have the essence mod, and then we have the increased lightning damage that we're going to roll for, and the +1 level of all lightning spell skill gems we can add pretty much guaranteed through harvest. And the chaos damage over time multiplier can be we can get this with Ashling or a Veiled Chaos, but the generic damage over time multiplier cannot be crafted, or you can't unveil it. So it's probably the best fracture to go for, in my opinion. Otherwise you will just have to keep spamming reforges, or I'm not really sure how you would actually get this otherwise. Alright, next we want a quality up to at least 28% with the perfect fossil, just so that when we apply the harvest enchant, we get the full effect of it. You need at least 28% minimum for you to get the, I guess, maximum effect of this enchant. But I do recommend going to 30, as it just looks a little bit better. And kind of the same thing with the next step is use 1 Gilded fossil, so we get the you know, the nice implicit on our item. Okay, well, you don't really need to do this, but yeah, this you should definitely do before you start crafting the item. Alright, after that, it's pretty simple. We're just going to spam the Deafening Essence of Torment until you hit a good roll on the increased lightning damage. And if we look at the weightings, it's actually very rare to get this mod, the increased lightning damage. There is a suffix for it too, and we don't want this suffix because we'll be replacing the suffixes later. We want to work on the prefixes first. And just to kind of put things in perspective, a T2 increased lightning damage has a weight of 0.011. That is the same as a tier 1 physical damage roll, which is at the same 0.011, and a tier 1 increased lightning damage has a weight of 0.005, so about twice as rare as the T1 physical damage. So just to kind of put those kind of things in perspective, it's very hard to hit either of these two rolls, and if you are sort of on a budget, then I suggest stopping at around whenever you see and maybe a tier 4 plus. Tier 5 is a little bit more common, but yeah, unless you don't want to spend thousands of essences, I recommend stopping it around somewhere around here whenever you get it. Okay, so after about 300 essences or so, I hit a tier 3, I think, tier 3 increased lightning damage roll. Unfortunately, both the prefixes and the suffixes were full, so I had to do a YOLO Annul, and I ended up removing one of the mods I wanted, so we go again. And after about 500 to 700 of the essences, I can't really remember anymore how many I used, I rolled a tier 2 increased lightning damage, and unfortunately it did have another prefix, but at the same time it had an attack tag and not a caster tag, so we are able to safely remove it by crafting cannot roll caster mods, and then annulling. Unfortunately though, I did annul off the craft about 3 times in a row, so minus 3 divines there. Kind of sad, but I guess yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so now that we have the essence part done, next thing we do is we craft on cannot roll attack mods and do an add remove lightning with harvest, and this will guarantee a +1 to all lightning spells, skill gems. However, there is a fail point when you're doing this craft. You can actually potentially remove one of the prefixes that you crafted, so either the essence mod or the increased lightning damage mod. And if you end up removing one of them, then well, you go back to essence spam. Okay, so you go back to the crafting bench and craft on cannot roll attack modifiers, and then we go to harvest and hit it with a add remove lightning, and fingers crossed here, and we hope that we don't remove the essence mod or the increased lightning damage. And we did hit it. Very, very happy, because I probably would not have seen a tier 2 plus roll again in about another, what, 500, 600, 700 essences maybe. Okay, so now that the prefixes are done, we can work on the suffixes, and the suffixes are very easy. We are just going to do prefixes cannot be changed and veiled Chaos Orb until we get a mod we want, and you can kind of do this as many times as you want. There's a very, very low chance that you will actually fill up your suffixes. It can happen though, and you will probably just have to YOLO annul. There's nothing else you can do. But I've done this maybe 10 times or so on different scepters, maybe 10, 12 times, and I've never filled up my suffixes. So yeah, I think it's a very low chance to actually hit 3 suffixes on the Veiled Chaos. And before you unveil the item with June, you want to craft on one of the charge modifiers, so the increased damage per frenzy charge or increased damage per endurance charge, because those have the highest weighting out of all of the unveil mods. And I did kind of make a small mistake here. I chose to unveil the cast speed instead of the chaos damage over time multiplier. I'm not really sure what I was thinking, but you should definitely choose the chaos damage over time multiplier because it rolls up to 28%, whereas the crafted mod is only up to 20%. And the cast speed crafted mod is 21%, whereas the June unveiled cast speed mod only goes up to 22%, so it's just a 1% difference, whereas the chaos mod is 8% difference. And after this, all there's left to do is to maybe divine it if you want, and then craft on the cast speed on the crafting bench. I did, however, decide to recraft the suffixes later on, and I chose the chaos damage per time multiplier. Anyways, that's about it for the video, guys. Hopefully this helps some of you guys who want to craft one of these scepters for your Poison Spark build. And thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hello, Exile?
Sick of all these lies. care if I capsize.